Hi, brothers and sisters. I hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to tell you guys about a couple of visions that I had last night, but I want to give you guys some background about my walk with Christ first. It's very, very long, so I'm going to try and keep it brief, but it all started with like just my life in general was absolutely horrible. I was living a miserable existence. I couldn't understand my life and my situation. Like I felt like nothing would ever work out for me, and I always had a knowing that like I was in some type of a battle, but I didn't understand completely. And I always believed in Jesus ever since I was a little girl. He was always very heavy in my heart. I knew that he existed, and I also knew that the devil existed. It was just a knowing that I had. So after a while, my life just made no sense for so long, and I got to the point where I made like an ultimatum with God, and I was on the couch and I was crying, and I was like, God, if you don't, intervene, I'm going to take my life. Like I can't live like this anymore. And within that moment, my mom came in, and we were like, not on good terms at all. And she just came and she started talking to me about God and everything. And then the next day, um, she got a phone call from a sister from her church who said she had a dream about me and she saw me singing gospel somewhere, and she asked to speak to me. And as soon as I got on the phone, she just started praying, and she started praying so aggressively, like I knew something um, um, was happening. I didn't know what, but I knew something was happening. And as soon as she finished, she just started saying like, Val, the Lord has a plan for your life, and the enemy is trying to keep you from that plan. And she told me a whole bunch of things that I don't really want to get into, but I didn't believe what she was telling me because I was so shy, and my self-esteem was very low, and I couldn't combine the two. From what she was telling me, I did not believe it, but I did entertain it because at that time I needed to hear something. So I was at that time, I mean, I was smoking cigarettes. I was wearing all types of jewelry. My tongue was pierced, my nose was pierced, my ears was pierced, my lip was pierced, everything was pierced. um I was clubbing all every weekend. That's all I cared about. I dressed very sexy. I wore tons of makeup, and within that day I threw everything out. I threw all my tight pants away. I took off all the jewelry off of me. I didn't wear makeup, and I wore skirts only. And I was just ready for whatever the Lord had for me. And let me tell you, oh my goodness, within 6 months into my walk, it was like very mellow. And it was like after 6 months, man, it was like an army out of hell came after me. I mean, the spiritual warfare was just unreal. I could not believe it. Like, you would think that I was bringing in thousands and thousands of souls, like an army of souls, when I was not doing that. All I did was I isolated and I worshiped God, by myself. I would be in the Word, I would fast, I would worship and praise and seek God, and that was it. That's all I was doing. And you know it just got so intense, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And one night I had a dream that I was in a hospital on a bed, and some guy came with a needle and injected my right eye and my left eye. And ever since then I was able to see things spiritually. It started off with excuse me it started off with colors. I would always see the color purple, and then it escalated to angels randomly, and then I started seeing demons randomly. Then I started seeing people in hell, and it just kept escalating. I would see, hear, and feel things every day, all day for years, and the spiritual, I mean, attack was just like. I could not understand why it was so intense, and it broke me to the point where I rebelled. After 3 years into my walk, I started to self medicate because I didn't want to see anything anymore. I didn't want to hear anything anymore. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. I just didn't want it. It was driving me crazy. And during my whole time of rebelling, I could still feel the Lord in my heart. He never ever leaves me. And even though I was bathing in sin at that time, I still would call out to him. I still would pray. And I knew he was there, but he was just, he hates sin. And he was trying to pull me out and trying to call out to me. And I knew that, but I didn't respond. And if he can't get you out of sin through love, he will do it through fear. And that's exactly what happened. Um, Man, that night, I can't even begin to explain. And I'm not going to go into detail, but I seen way too much. Like, I shouldn't even be saying right now for the things that I literally seen with my eye. Like how you're looking at another person, this is how I would see these beings. And I was seeing things that they were doing, and they was like trying to bring fear and mock me, and it's like I was watching a movie thing. Like the Lord was letting me see their plans and their schemes and what they were up to and what they were doing, and he was still letting them bring fear to me because I was rebelling, and he wanted me to come back. And that it worked. It definitely worked. I seen a lot throughout those whole 3 days. He let them like torment me, not physically, emotionally, which sometimes it's much worse. And I seen it was just surreal. No one would believe me. They would have to experience it for themselves to know that it was real. But anyways, this has to do with the things that I heard last night. And I heard that the videos that I made last night and comments that I made, I was saying there's going to be a huge mass deception and strong delusion. And I heard you have said right, my daughter. There will be huge mass deception, inwardly and outwardly. Okay, now when he said inwardly, one of the things that I saw during this time, um, I saw the demons. They were going into people's rooms and taking their soul and going into space, like flying into space and putting stuff inside them. And then they would bring them back in their beds, and the people would have no clue. Even little kids, adults, they were like flying past my room, holding people and going into space, into the sky, wherever they were going. And then they would place them back in their bed. And it was revealed that they were implanting stuff so that they can use remote technology to have them do whatever they want. Like if they wanted them to die, they could press a button and kill them. If they wanted to inflict diseases, they could do that. If they wanted them to go kill somebody or be angry, whatever they wanted, they could do it with a remote control. And I believe it has something to do with MK, mind control, like Illuminati, the celebrities. You see how they always talk about mind control, mind control. I believe that is what's going to happen with the masses, because he said inwardly there's going to be a deception. I believe that they're going to make people hear things audibly and believe certain things that they're hearing, and it's going to cause confusion. It's just so much. I can't even like put it into words. But just go to the Lord and ask him, please. I can't even begin like to explain what I saw and things that I believe, but that I'm just planting a seed. It has something to do with inwardly, with our mind and mind control. And outwardly is the great signs in heaven. That's not going to be from God. It's going to be hologram, the huge mass deception, where they're going to put things up in the sky and it's going to look real, but it's not, like fake angels or demons or spaceships, whatever it is that they're going to put in the sky. I believe that's how the Antichrist is going to come. They're going to make it look like he's coming from the sky. It's going to look that real. Um, I don't know details, so I don't like to assume and just say things. I like to be certain. So I'm just saying that's what I believe that they're going to do. Um, and the last couple videos I did where I heard the Lord say, um, the world is not going to be prepared for what is going to happen. Twice I heard that. The world is not going to be prepared for what's going to happen. Before the real rapture, there's always something bad that happens before something good happens. I believe there's going to be a mass deception, and the fake rapture is going to happen, amongst other things. I also saw a football field last night with the celebrities, and I keep seeing fire come from the ground and smoke. And I saw 75,000 with the um, football field. I don't watch football. I don't know exactly what that means, but I know it was shown to me for a reason. Now, the only connection that I can make is there was a watchman that did a video about Dark Nights, and that movie where some guy with a mask came and blew up a football field. And I looked up 75,000, and the next game, the Super Bowl, which is February the 3rd, and the amount of people they can hold is from 71,000, and the max is 80,000. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm gonna look for confirmation. I'm just putting it out there in case anybody else has had a vision or a dream. But those were the things that I heard last night. And I also, 2 nights ago, the Lord um, told me to say this, but I forgot that He hears our cries and He's not going to leave His people desolate. Okay? He hears us crying, and He's not going to leave His people desolate. Um, so, you guys, please, this is the time to fast and to seek God like you have lost your mind, seriously. Otherwise, He keeps saying this because He doesn't want any of us to be deceived. Um, to seek Him in prayer and fasting and praise and worship and in your word. Like, once you're done doing whatever it is you have to do, like working and whatever else, taking care of your kids, seek Him. Seek the Lord. I'm telling you, I can feel it in my bones. Something is about to transpire, something that we think we can be prepared for. We think that we're going to be able to detect, but I kid you not, we are not going. That's why it's called deception. We're not going to know. The only reason why we know, why His people know, is because He's revealing it to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't know. The very elect would be deceived if it were possible. The only reason why we're not deceived is because He's revealing it to us. This is how it's going to be so deceptive. I'm telling you, please, you guys, like, seek the Lord with all your heart and ask Him to tell you, to show you nothing but the truth, and He will do it. He is faithful. If you really want to know the truth with all your heart, He will tell you. He will show you. Okay? I'm just delivering the message. That's all I'm doing. Whatever I see, I just deliver the message, and then the Lord does whatever He wants with that message after that. So God bless you all. I love you, and seek the Lord. Okay.